Okay, probably the biggest agronomic challenge we had was the fertilizer law that was enacted that limited us to when we could apply fertilizer. We had to put our fertilizer down no later than November 15th. So one of our vendors, Harry, came up with a very good strategy for us that made a lot of sense for the customer, giving them results, giving them something for their money, not just putting down something to leave a bill, as my business partner would say. So we came up with weed control. One of the biggest challenges we had in the spring was getting good weed control. The weeds would be in abundance come April. And we didn't start applying weed control until it was warm enough in mid-April and through May. So by that time, you're getting a lot of calls coming in, people complaining about weeds. So we switched that over to, okay, we can't apply fertilizer past November 15th. Let's switch it over to weed control. And we did that, and it was absolutely amazing, the results we got. Very little weeds in the springtime. Customers were happy. Their lawns looked better, more referrals. I mean, it just snowballed into a whole bunch of good stuff.
This year was extremely difficult for us in the fact that we had a very dry winter with very little snow, which followed up in the springtime where drought started very early in the season. It was extremely hot, and which created all sorts of issues as far as crabgrass control, just keeping turf alive. The drought lasted so long, it was so difficult that a lot of the turf did not recover this fall, which created all sorts of other issues. A lot of the surrounding towns and neighborhoods were on watering bans, so they couldn't water their lawns. So a lot of damage in that part.
The biggest challenge, agronomic challenge, is the fertilizer restrictions in the state of Florida. I'm having municipalities govern and outline what I can do for my customers, and it's a very frustrating scenario to have someone else dictate what I'm doing to my customers.
Weather would probably be our number one. Just we live in the transition zone, and spring was torrential downpours to where broke down pre-emergence early, and then summertime came hot and dry conditions, and temps stayed really high through September, which is normally our aeration and seeding season for fescue. So it delayed things there, and then got completely dry after that until hurricane blew through. So we went from one extreme to the other, back to the other.
Probably our largest challenge this year was the tremendous crabgrass breakthrough, tremendous heat and humidity in our area. One of the solutions, I believe, which we did, was split applications. Split applications of preventative crabgrass. We found that our clients who received one application really were in serious trouble. So our goal is to try to convert the one application clients to 2 applications.
The biggest challenge was the weather. It was really difficult to deal with. We had a huge outbreak of nutsedge. So what we did to combat that was to spray as quickly as we can, but next year we are implementing a separate plan and program just to solve the nutsedge problem. So we'll be adding a couple more steps and rounds, so we'll create a little bit more revenue and solve the customer's problems.
The biggest agronomic challenges we had was the weather. We had some areas that rained too much, some areas that didn't rain enough. We had higher average higher temperatures. So we had some product failure on our pre-emergence and grub control, which we don't typically see this widespread. Pretty much as far as, we're talking about things we can do to improve in the future, maybe going to split applications and those kind of things, but every year's different, so chances are we're probably not going to, next year's going to be another set of challenges. So sometimes we try to look at last year's challenges and forget about them because they may not happen for another 5 years, but we're always trying to, improve ourselves.